Hello, Mountaineers. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and this is the WolfMan's Call for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. Hope you're having a great day. We have a lot for the show today, and I will address the Bob Huggins situation briefly. But before I get to that, let's talk about what's in line for the show today. And that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's Travis Kenobi, the writer for one of the writers for Last Word on College Football. Came out with a great article yesterday on troubled waters, WVU, college realignment, where WVU fits in, and him and I have a discussion about it, and I really respect his cerebral process. I like the way he looks at things and where he sees it, and he's got a great passion for WVU. So Travis Kenobi, last word of college football, and we'll get to that later in the show. Also, my guy, Zach Frazier, the offensive center who's right now, I think he's rated number 2 overall by Pro Football Focus. I always wonder about Pro Football Focus. How do they always know exactly what an offensive player is supposed to do? I know they're great coaches and with them because I think I could do something like that as well. But regardless, they have him rated as number 2 center in the country, and I have a piece that I wanted to share from last week's Mountaineer Football Celebration show. Zach, you know what? He's a 4-time state champ wrestler. Did you ever feel his guns, man? They're like huge, strong as an ox. So I love the young man. A great young man in character. And I want to talk about the offensive staff a little bit and go into that and concerns that some may have. And let's find out what you think about it. But getting back to the Bob Huggins situation. Some of you may or may not know that I put out a tweet to Bob Huggins and the comment that he made in that radio show, whatever it was, those silly DJs. And the fact is, I said what I said. I said that I've never heard Bob Huggins talk that way. And it's so funny. And I'm not going to get into it with Bob Huggins and all that stuff. I've said what I had to say about that. I'm not going to break that down. What I am going to say is like Austin, Texas, and Fresno, California, and a lot of California places is they're so assured that I am being dishonest in what I am saying. People have expressed themselves and so assured that I'm not telling the truth, that I, Dale Wolfley, am a liar. This is not about me. I'm not going to make this about me. But what I do want to say is, when you don't know me, you don't know anything about me, but you have such a self-assuredness that you are correct. And that's a total sign of a narcissist. And you might want to check yourself at the door. Maybe help yourself out in the ones that are close to you, because they might be better off if you're a little bit nicer person. Now, in regards with Bob Huggins and where the society is, I would like to just have a forgiving society. If somebody truly seeks forgiveness, who are we not to give it? Who of us have not made a mistake? It's really simple to me. You can either love people or you can hate people. I don't want to be a part of haters. I don't want to be that. I want to be a part of saying, okay, situation is here. Here's what the results of that situation. Here's the response to the situation. And then what's my response? My response is, if a person really wants forgiveness, give them forgiveness. In our society, do we want to be able to just kick someone when they're down? Does that make you feel good? Oh, what did you fall? You fall really hard. No, that's not for me. And it's not for the people I want to be around or love or take care of. I know one thing. My man, Huggy Bear, I'm on the wall, baby. The guard is up. Now, let's move on to this West Virginia coaching staff, because I've heard a lot of grumblings about the experience of the staff. And, of course, you have Neil Brown's going to be part of that offense. Who knows what the stories are. He may even call some of the plays along with Chad Scott. I got a huge amount of respect for Chad Scott. Really, I feel I feel like he's ready, and he's right now in his realm, in his wheelhouse to be. I think it really is a better word description for it. And of course, you got assistant head coach, offensive line coach Matt Moore. He's called plays. He's been offensive coordinator. He's been through the gamut. So there's a lot of experience right there with those two. And then you got to look at what you got to look at Bilal Marshall and Blaine Stewart. Now, I've known Blaine since I came back to work with Coach Bill Stewart. I mean, Stu hired me, man. Blaine, this kid like that tall, man, just loving it. He loved being around WVU football. He was always around WVU football. His mom, Karen, wonderful lady, classy lady, all that. It was a classy operation. And, Blaine was always respectful. And just the fact that he went on to get hired by Coach Tomlin and worked with that, because I think Coach Tomlin's an incredible coach, and I think he demands respect. He has authority, and he teaches that authority and then moves on down the line, and you have to hold your own. No one's hiring nobody because they want to be their buddy. You gotta get hired and make your way in so you're accepted, not only by the coaching staff, but also by the players. The players know. They're no dummies. The players know. So Blaine comes in. Listen, Blaine has been around football his entire life. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say encouragement, man. That's really a cool thing that I say. A good hire of Neil Brown. I really believe that. So Blaine, welcome aboard, man. Congratulations. And I know that thing about recruiting. I know you watched your dad do it all your life, right? Yeah, so don't worry. You're going to be fine in recruiting, and people like you. You got a good disposition. People naturally like you, and you're very enthusiastic. And maybe something that this offensive staff has needed. Now we go to Bilal Marshall, excuse me for my words, mispronunciation, but Bilal is a guy who was a graduate assistant a couple of years ago, and then he went to Virginia Military Institute. So he's like, wow, so you got Blaine the first time coach in college football, although he's worked with professionals, and then you had Bilal, who's a one-year guy as well. Well, last week at the college football celebration, Country Roads Trust event, and with the Davison Brothers band, my guys, right? Well, I was talking there, and his Bilal was there, and I didn't realize it was him at first. And I heard him talking, and I was listening. I was like, "Who's this guy who's talking up here with Chad Scott?" And I'm like, "This is a very mature guy." And when he's talking to me, I'm thinking, "Wow, okay, I'm hearing some kind of good, solid logic coming out of him." And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute, that's Bilal." And then I was like, "Hey, Bilal," and we started talking. I said, "Hey, do you know who I am?" He goes, "Yeah, I know you are." Because I don't have much of a presence around the building anymore like I used to. And I said, "Do you know who I am?" He goes, "Yeah." I don't know if that was good or bad, to be quite honest with you. But I saw it in him. He's a big man. He's a man who's young, but it looks to me like he's got wisdom. So, again, with this offensive staff, I want to go with the half cup full and not half empty. And Neil Brown, he knows that, the pressure is on for him to win games. So I'm going to, again, go ahead and say these are good hires. I'll tell you one thing about Bilal Marshall. I listened to him for 5 minutes. I knew he's a good dude. I knew he was a quality dude. I knew that he might be 25, 26, whatever it might be. But he's a man that had a kind of a older soul to him. And a man that you can tell men that they have responsibility about him. You can tell when they have that. And that's a Bilal Marshall. So that's my opinion. What is your opinion, Mountaineers, of this? I really, really want to know, because let's talk about this in the future. Let's see, what can they bring to the table? What the Steelers have done with tight ends, is Blaine bringing that down there? Is he bringing the knowledge down? Bilal Marshall, he's got some youth to him. I will say this, I really believe that I talked about this yesterday, that this staff is going to have to really do some development. And that means that some G5 receivers, some young receivers, some junior college receivers, I think Bilal's got his hands full. And I'm really, really interested, really interested in seeing what he can do with this receiver group, because this is about as young as it gets. And don't forget about TD, Traylon Davis, probably going to be the number 2 tight end in an offense that uses 2 tight ends, because you have Cole Taylor, who's 6'7", the transfer from LSU, who has a big upside as well. So I'm very excited, but don't forget TD before it's all said and done. And so here's the kicker. I am interested in seeing how this offensive staff is going to put this offense together when you have the basis of the offensive line, some good tight end, at least 2, maybe 3 players deep, and some young wide receivers. And 2 quarterbacks who we don't know the starters yet, Garrett Green, Nico Marchio, Garrett Green. Neither one has a lot of playing experience. So 2 quarterbacks incorporating this solid offensive line. I'm going to say solid tight ends. And I'm going to say talented young receivers, and working it together. Now that is going to be something really interesting. And speaking of Zach Frazier, my guy, let's go ahead and roll it.
Wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. Feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Let's go, Zach. Zach, you want to wrestle?
Yeah.
You want to wrestle?
Sure.
Yeah,
You looking
Tommy's
awful in
here.
shape. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Good to see you.
Sorry.
Yeah, all right.
Well, we've definitely entered the wrestling ring because he's already knocking down the microphone.
Yeah.
What's going on, big dog?
Oh, not much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Let's feel. Oh my gosh, man! You remind me of my old days. Well, wait a minute. No, okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later. How you been?
Good.
Yeah. What's
Good.
happening with you now? Been a couple of years. You've been in the system, been going through it. You're really coming to the plateau. And I'm not saying you're peaking out, but you're realizing who you are as a football player.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for this coming season, and just can't wait. I don't know.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to square off against Nico?
Oh yeah,
He
I'm
was
ready.
a 2-time state champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the odds on that? We were trying to play some odds.
They wouldn't be favoring him too well.
Let me fair. I
You're
can
supposed to take
imagine.
care of your quarterback, right?
Yeah, I'd be easy on him.
You wouldn't hurt him, right?
No, I wouldn't hurt him.
Okay. Well, let's get into then the offensive line, because we believe that's going to be the strong suit of the offense. Not that you got C.J. Donaldson, all those great running backs, but a running back can't run unless he's got an offensive line that's competent in front of him. And that means 5 parts working as one. And that's also, you can count 6 parts in there if you're going to include the tight end.
Right.
So where's your offensive line now? You've been the leader for what, 2 years now at least, maybe 3. Where are you at, and how good do you think you can be?
Well, I think we have a really old group up front as far as like we've been together for 2 to 3 years, and I think we know each other really well, and I think we can be really good. And also it helps me when we have a running back room like we have right now, and you love blocking for those type of people, and just want to give them an extra yard every time.
It's all about getting everybody all the extra. So let me ask you, you are a true homeborn West Virginia Mountaineer, and there's nothing better than a homeborn Mountaineer. How much extra pride does that make you play with coming from a Fairmont boy? I remember watching you in Mountaineer youth football, right? Homeboy. Tell me about the extra pride that makes you play with.
Oh, it means everything, just coming from the state, and it's everything. So
It's everything, man.
What's
You're
your
one of
favorite
the
food?
steak.
Steak?
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
like me, Tommy. Zach Frazier and Wolfman, just kind of the same guy, hanging out together.
You offensive linemen are all the same. That's
yeah.
okay. You eat your
You can hang
steaks.
out
You
with
know,
me. Awesome.
you know that's all right.
Yeah.
So you've got some other stuff going on. You're getting married pretty soon.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah. Thank
man.
you.
Congratulations. That's an awesome thing. So tell me, what's in your mind for preparing against Penn State, man? How are you getting? And then Pitt, okay, after that. That's a big battle for us real West Virginia born
Yeah.
Mountaineers. So tell me about that,
Yeah, I
man.
can't wait. I love that we're playing these old rivals again, and we got to win them. Got to win them. So that's what we're working towards, and like I said, I can't wait. So.
Can't wait, huh? Can't
Okay.
wait.
Listen, we're going to let you go. You got events to do. I want to know one thing. What's your favorite wrestling move?
Oh, probably an armbar.
Armbar?
Yep.
What's your favorite Wolfman move?
Oh,
Come on now, you
Let's
got to
see.
remember.
probably that TCU one.
The Frazier flip.
Yeah, yeah.
We want to see you do one move on Dell before you go to the viewers. Go ahead. Put him in the double sleeper
It's
hold.
going to be a long night.
Put him in the sleeper hold one
Go
time.
ahead, buddy.
Zach.
Well, thank you so much. We'll see you later. And do good. Do
Yep.
good. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
Great
We
representative
appreciate
of WVU.
Great representative, great Mountaineer brother. None better than Zach Frazier.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you. So, T.
Dan Cava has the largest selection of new Camrys in the area, and with $1,000 off sticker price, now is the best time to purchase your new Camry. We also have a wide variety of Tundras, some featuring the all-new TRD lift kit. And don't forget, all new Toyotas come with 2 years or 25,000 miles worth of free service from our award-winning service department, which you can schedule online, by phone, or through the Toyota app. Come see us at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. And all right. Hey, I have to apologize to everybody because the video with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Travis Kenobi, got really messed up. I think it was because of my fault in the videotaping of it. So we are live, man, right now. And, I want to come back on here live. I could have just ended it right there and then, but I want to explain to you about Travis. And the article is really good. So we're going to go ahead and do it again tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow I want to talk a little bit about Nico and Garrett Green, maybe even look at a couple plays or so and start that process of the breakdown of the players. But I have to tell you, somebody just sent me this clip, and I just want to say, you know what, Dan Dockage, you're only a coach here for 8 days, and you've been speaking out for years and years bad about WVU. And today was no exception. And, I said to, the people and Bob Huggins, did I stand on the wall? Brother, I got your back. And not for what you said and what you did, because that's what you got to do. You got to take care of that. There's nothing I can do about it. But people like Dan Dockage, who sits there and just yells and screams into a camera and goes ahead and just calls people that I respect, not only Bob Huggins, he went on a whole tirade about West Virginia and WVU and calling it backwards. I want to tell you this Dan Dockage, I've really never listened to him, didn't really care about him, and I still don't care about him. But I will say this, Dan Dockage, if you run your mouth in front of me, I swear to you, you talk about you're going to kick Bob Huggins' can, you're going to kick, everyone who comes up to you, you won't kick mine. I could promise you. I could promise you that yelling that you do, because I don't need to yell. Tough guys don't need to yell into a microphone, into a camera. It's not what tough guys do. Those are the guys the verbal ones, the ones you don't need to worry about them. And that's who you are. You said that Bob Huggins is a bully. I don't see Bob Huggins going out and attacking and doing that. So, again, I'm not making this about Bob Huggins. I'm making this about you, Dan Dockage. Because you know what? Unlike you, and releasing swear words, cuss words, and all that I could say, you're just a lowlife. A true lowlife. And you know what? You won't run your mouth if I'm around. You won't run your mouth about Eddie Pastelong. Eddie Pastelong, you won't run your mouth. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's all I'm going to call it. I'm not, you know what? You are a lowlife, man. I sat there and I could not believe what was spewing from your mouth. Yeah, I am who I am. And I don't threaten nobody. I'm just telling you ain't going to run your mouth about my people in front of me. Not going to do it. And now moving on from that, bye, because I really don't care about you. But I will say this. I want to know from you Mountaineers, what are the subjects that you want to talk about? I mean, if you want to come on, I'll bring you on. I'm going to bring on my Mountaineer brothers. Again, I'm going to get off here in a second because it doesn't look like there's going to be much response, which that's unfortunate as well. But I think I was originally going to come from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and I just don't think that's a good time. This later time seems to work better. So I think I'm going to like that. But before I go, I do have this whole thing from Murph Tinsley that I want to get at. And, of course, Murph is a guy that he was a TV guy. He worked over at MSN and all that for years, 25 years. He filmed the games. He filmed a lot of the end zones. And with that, Murph made a video for me when I was the head of the WVU varsity club. Wow. That's a lot of years. And Murph, all he did was care about the players that went through. He was friends. I mean, Murph Tinsley was like a teammate, and he was there, and we miss him dearly. He passed away a few years ago. And so I'm going to show that video before I go. But I want to say this to you, Mountaineer Nation, and whoever is going to be listening to this in the WolfMan's call. I want to be able to come in live. I want to be able to talk about what you want to talk. I'm obviously not afraid to talk about anything, and not afraid to give my opinion. I'll talk about the coaches. I'll talk, about the players, but I'm doing it fair, respectful, man. Listen, my young brothers, you're not going to see me ripping a whole lot on them because that's not what it's about. I want to support them. I want to uplift them. Okay, if something's going wrong, which I hope is not, because I want this team to be successful. So I want y'all to hear me. I want you all to hear me when I'm saying this. I want Neil Brown to be successful at West Virginia University football. I want him to succeed and win games. So it's just so you don't ever question me like, hey, Wolf, this, I don't know what he's going to do. His can is on the line, right? All of ours are. Well, that's what happens, and the bell tolls for everybody. Whom the bell tolls, right? I mean, it's got to get everybody eventually somewhere down the line. I've been through that over and over again, unfortunately. All right, so with that all being said, I don't see anyone coming in here with any topics to be said. I can wait around another minute. If you got a topic, go ahead and punch it in there on the notes. Go ahead. I'll take it, whatever you want to talk about, if it's respectful, and not being a jag. I'll tell you, I think you guys will all come and get to know my sense of humor. Even though I did spend 10 years on the Mountaineer Athletics corporate TV, which I love the cast and crew there, and of course the radio, and I love the cast and crew there, and all the good friends that I made through the years. And you can say things a certain way, and you can't say things. Now I can say a lot more than I probably could before. So that's the good thing about it, and sometimes maybe not the good thing about it. But we're going to make this entertaining. We're going to we're going to break down position by position, and with whatever you want to bring into the conversation, again, that is the right conversation, and we'll get after it. So, with that being said, I see no comments, and I do see there are people watching, but we're going to go ahead now, and I'm going to play this video, Murph Tinsley, and it's about my brothers, my Mountaineer brothers. And the last thing I want to say before I play this video, as the head of WVU Athletics alumni for 12 years, and especially now with football, because I love all the athletes, all the people that wore the WV here, wherever they had that WV. They represented the university and they represented the state, and I love them. We all share that common bond. But obviously, I'm here to talk about football. So for my Mountaineer brothers, this is for you.